Sex in the Bible. While the Bible does contain passages that touch on the subject of sex, it's important to note that the Bible is not a book that is primarily focused on sex or sexuality. However, here are 10 books of the Bible that contain passages that touch on the subject of sex, along with their scriptural references and a brief summary. Genesis, the first book of the Bible, contains the story of Adam and Eve, who were the first human beings created by God. It also contains the story of Lot and his daughters, which includes some sexual content. Exodus, while the book of Exodus primarily focuses on the Israelites' journey out of Egypt, it also contains some laws and guidelines regarding sexual behavior. Leviticus, this book contains a great deal of laws regarding sexual behavior, including prohibitions against incest, adultery, and homosexuality. Deuteronomy, this book contains some laws regarding sexual behavior, including laws about adultery and the punishment for rape. Song of Solomon, this book is a poetic and romantic celebration of sexual love and intimacy between a man and a woman. Proverbs, while not focused specifically on sex, the book of Proverbs contains some wisdom about sexual behavior, including warnings against adultery and sexual immorality. Ecclesiastes, this book includes some reflections on the nature of pleasure and desire, including sexual desire. Isaiah, this book contains some prophecies that use sexual language and imagery as a metaphor for the relationship between God and his people. Ezekiel, this book contains some prophecies that use sexual language and imagery as a metaphor for the relationship between God and his people. Hosea, this book tells the story of the prophet Hosea, who is instructed by God to marry a prostitute named Gomer. The book uses this story as a metaphor for God's relationship with his unfaithful people. It's important to note that the Bible's teachings about sex and sexuality are often nuanced and complex, and should be studied in context with the rest of the Bible's teachings on love, relationships, and morality. Title: The Bible and Sexuality, Exploring the Scriptures. Opening shot: a close-up of a Bible, with the camera panning out to show a person sitting at a table, reading the Bible. Voiceover: the Bible is a book that has been around for thousands of years, and its teachings on sex and sexuality continue to be relevant today. Cut 2: a series of shots of people engaged in VA.